Hey, everybody, we appreciate you listening to Takeoff with John Clark, and we've got a very, very special guest, the GOAT in Philly, Hall of Famer Allen Iverson. You're doing some work with PointsBet, so we thank PointsBet very much for bringing you on here today. Allen, we're going to talk some Sixers here. Are you ready?
Stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
I love it. Allen, you know it. Philly's a little nervous right now about what's happened these last two games after the Sixers went up 3-0. What do you think happened to the Sixers in Game 5?
I have no idea. I know we're making it tough on ourselves. We just didn't play a good game overall. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you know anything about these series, closeout game is probably the toughest game. You know what I mean? And, you know, guys don't want to go home. You know what I mean? Those guys got pride. They pro players. You know what I mean? They believe in each other. You know, they've come a long way. They've been with each other. They've been meshing all year long. And it's tough when you get in a situation where, you know, one loss, you know, you're on vacation and the dream is over. So we just have to put everything together, man, and do what we did the first 3 games.
How tough is that for the Sixers, though, now going back to Toronto, and Toronto's got to feel like, hey, we're playing with house money.
Yes.
And if it goes back to a Game 7 in Philly, don't you think the pressure is going to be on the Sixers there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be tough. It's tough to play in Toronto anyway. You know what I mean? That they have great fans. They're very supportive. The atmosphere is going to be tremendous. You know what I mean? It's going to be tough. But this is what it's all about, man. And if they don't get it done, anything can happen in Game 7, man. You never know. You know what I mean? And you're dealing with 2 professional teams. These guys been through these type of situations all their life. If you look at a professional roster, everybody on the team all their life, you know, used to be the man. You know what I mean? So anybody's capable of stepping up and having a big game, man. So we got to go in there, play together, obviously have a great game plan, and try to execute it, man, get out of there with a win, because if we have to go back home, anything can happen. It's going to be tough.
You know, when I was watching Joel try to play through the torn ligament in his thumb, it seems like he's not as aggressive, not as physical. Obviously, he doesn't want that thumb to be hit. Do you get a sense that he's just in a different space right now, trying to learn how to play with that? And maybe does that affect the rest of the team?
I don't know. I had a thumb injury before on my right hand, and it's very, very uncomfortable. Especially with you know, shooting the ball, obviously, but just being hit on, you know, just getting it hit, you know what I mean, and reaching on defense, you know what I mean. Any little thing. It's always a situation when you get an injury somewhere on your body. That's the first thing that always get hit, you know what I mean, in a game. And I know it's obviously frustrating for him, but that's why this game is so important. And obviously the other 2 not closing him out, you know, were very important, because he would have had the opportunity to, you know, get more treatment on it, you know what I mean, and rest it a little bit more. And we just put ourselves in a bad situation. And it's something that he's just going to have to fight through. It is what it is. He's going to have to deal with it the rest of the playoffs. So just in a bad situation, just have to overcome it.
Did you get a sense, though, that the vibe has been different with the team since the injury happened?
It probably is, just, you know, just knowing it, you know what I mean? It's something that you definitely gonna have to think about, because, you know, in Philadelphia and the rest of the world, you know, everybody's talking about it. So you're gonna hear the chatter about it anyway. And, you know, other guys probably concerned about it because of their teammates, and they don't know, you know, how it's affecting them. You know, only JoJo know how it's affecting him. You know what I mean? And we have no room for excuses. You know what I mean? If you're able to get out there and play, then people want to see you play the way you usually play. And I've had injuries all throughout my career, and, you know, if I get on the basketball court, I'm expecting to play like I play. And that's how, you know, the fans are. That's how your teammates are. You know what I mean? And it's just something, like I said, that he's going to have to deal with, fight through it.
Joel, after the Game 5 loss, said that he wants James Harden to be more aggressive, kind of like get back to that old James Harden and not just have the facilitator on the mind. Do you think they need more from James offensively?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he's a special talent. You know what I mean? James got like what, 3 scoring titles? You know what I mean? And every team that has been successful with James on it, you know what I mean, needed him to be James and score. You know what I mean? He'll take a lot of pressure off of the other guys on the squad, not just JoJo. You know what I mean? He'll take a lot of pressure off a lot of guys. We're gonna need the explosive James Harden. And I've been hearing people saying he lost a step. I know it's in him. You know what I mean? I know he has that killer instinct in him. You know what I mean? I look at the stat sheets after every game, and he's getting people involved. You know what I mean? He's doing his point guard due diligence. But we probably will need to see more of the assassin James, more of a killer.
The thing that surprises me is he's 0 for 10 in the series on floaters. And it just seems like maybe he doesn't have that burst towards the basket anymore, or the lift. Do you see a little bit of difference? Could the hamstring be affecting?
I don't know. And that's his, and obviously what you've been watching him and I've been watching him all of these years, that's his go-to. His floater that's his thing, when he get in there and float it. And you never know because you got to think about the circumstances of him coming in here, and he was already a little banged up before he came, to our mob. And I know how it is to play in Philadelphia. And if he is hurting in any type of way, I'm pretty sure he's keeping it to himself. And because he knows what he'll have to deal with, with sitting out of games. The Philly faithful is not, they're not trying to hear that. You know what I mean? So you never know, if the guy is hurt or banged up. You know what I mean? I feel sorry if he's out there playing on one leg, because the expectations are so high for him. You know what I mean? We felt like once we made this trade, that was the last piece we needed to obviously accomplish our goal that we set in the beginning of the year.
I've seen Tyrese Maxey come over to you during the games, and his face lights up when he sees you. For him to go from 30% last year shooting threes to 43% this year, what have you seen from him as far as his growth?
Just a testament of him wanting to get better. Just him not wanting to be average. Him wanting to contribute, in the best way he can, and that's to get in the gym and work on his craft. You know what I mean? And get better. Not just a guy that's out there on the basketball court, but a guy that's out there being effective and that's helping his team win basketball games. I think it's very important for him to continue to be aggressive like he has been. He can't be tentative out there. Obviously we need big games from Joel and we need big games from James, but it's always great when you have that third and fourth guy, step up and have big games, take the pressure off the superstars. But I think Reese is doing a great job, man. He's only going to get better. And I see a lot of flashes of great things that he can do in the future.
He had 61 points in the first 2 games at home, and maybe you start to defer a little bit, and then it's different playing on the road. How do you think he can get back on track and get that pace back? They need to push the pace a little bit.
I think with that it's understanding how great Nurse is as a coach. You know what I mean? How great these players are, because you got a scouting report now. You know what I mean? Like, guys they have you on that board and they're paying attention. They're paying attention to the things you like to do, things you don't like to do, things you like to do, and where you are on the court, how aggressive you are in certain areas, certain quarters, certain times. And they break all of those things down. And it's just up to you, for when they throw different things at you, you got to know how to counter. You got to do your homework. You got to get in there and you got to watch film and figure out the things that they're trying to do to stop you from being effective and you being successful. So it's a chess. It's definitely chess. It's not checkers.
Can you believe that it has been the 21 years since you guys were in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they haven't been able to get back. And this was looking like their best opportunity, but now it's a little shaky now. What do you think needs to happen for this team to get through the Raptors, and then, probably a tough matchup with the Heat if they can get through?
For the first question, I think you might as well. You would have been better off just calling me old. You know what I mean? You could have.
I'm sorry, man.
You could have just called me old, man, and then I would have got that over with real quick. But I think they got to try to get back to what they were doing in the first couple of games. But all in all, understand that they have to adjust to what they're doing to them. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to let the things that went on in the first couple of games go on. They're going to take those things away. The things that made you successful in those games, they're going to try to take those things away. So you find out another way to get things done, understanding that, your comfort zone is taken away from you for what you were doing in the first games, the first couple of games. Now, they've adjusted like they supposed to do, like professionals do, like a great coaching staff would do and great players would do. Now it's up to you to be great, to counter all of those things and figure out another way to be successful. And if you don't, it's going to be a long, long summer, man, because you go up 3-0 and don't get it done. You have to do a lot of soul searching, man. And then that's when all the BS start. That's when guys get to, and not saying that this is the makeup of our squad, but in recent history, that's when guys get to pointing fingers and playing the blame game. And was it the coach's fault? Was it the guys, this superstar, that superstar, the bench? You know what I mean? They might even go as far as blaming the trainers and people like that, man. You never know. On off season, when you're trying to find answers, man, you get to blaming everybody.
And last year we saw in Game 5 at home against the Hawks in the second round, they gave up the 20-point lead, 26-point lead, I think. And then Game 7, they lost at home. Of course, Ben Simmons had his issue. Yeah. What do you think of what has happened with the Ben Simmons situation, where he is now reportedly telling the Nets that he still has a mental block to playing basketball from what happened to him in the playoffs last year? I mean, he didn't play at all this year.
Right. I can't say that I understand or overstand, because I don't. Because I've never had to really deal with any type of mental situation that I know of. Honestly, I've been through a whole bunch of ups and downs in my life, and I've been fortunate enough to lean on a lot of people that I know love me, like far as family and friends, teammates, coaches. Just having a good support system around you to help you deal with a lot of the hard things to deal with that comes with this type of lifestyle. And you never do it all the way right. You're never perfect with trying to get any of these things that you're trying to get accomplished. I don't know what direction he's going to go in as far as his support system. I don't know the people that he have around him, but I know he's gonna need help. I think it's going to be important for him to gel as much as he can in the off season with the guys that he played with, and help them to understand and know that he's going to be there for them. And he will get better. And I'm praying for that. I hope, if that's his problem, and, if he's going through something like that, I hope he get through it, because I'm not going to give up on him. You know what I mean? Even though he's not with our squad anymore, I became someone that, that he was cool with, and he's someone that I'm cool with. And, I want to see him do great things. I want to see him bounce back from all of this, and hoping it's a great learning experience for him. But like I said, it's going to take some help, and it's going to take some other people that really care about him to try to guide him in the right direction to make this wrong or right.
Couple final questions for you. We love seeing you back in Philly. You're doing a lot of work with PointsBet, and sometimes I watch you during the games, and when you get up right in that corner seat, I almost sense you've got like 1 foot on the floor. How much do you get into those games at home, AI?
I'm Philadelphia until I die. And even when that happens, I'm still gonna be that. You know what I mean? My soul, you know what I mean, is Philadelphia. I'm a Sixer, you know what I mean, for life. And I'll just get into it because I know that I'm one of those people in the stands now. And now I know how they felt when I was out there playing. You know what I mean? And what type of support system that I had. The relationship that I had with those fans were the best relationship as far as player fan relationships could go. You know what I mean? I don't know no other relationship with fans that a player ever had like I had with those people. And now I'm one of those. And I want those guys on that squad to know that I'm in it with them. I'm not just there eating my popcorn and sitting back chilling. You know what I mean? I'm there to support them. I'm there to get up out of my seat and cheer for them and let them know that I'm all in it. You know what I mean? And it's fun. It's fun being a fan. I never thought that it could be like this as being a fan. And now I get the understanding of why they all into it like they were when I was playing. And as I'm just the #1 Sixer fan, and I'm just continue to support them and be there for them.
Well, it's going to be tense if there's an actual Game 7 at home. I mean, there's going to be a lot of nerves with you and everybody there. Let me ask you, when you watch the young players that are coming up in the NBA, is there anybody that kind of reminds you of yourself?
All you doing is trying to set me up for the answer that you already know. I know what you're going to say already, and you know it. And you know it already. You tell me who you think, and then I'll give you my honest. I'll give my honest truth.
Well, I saw you throwing some stuff out for Ja Morant.
There you go. You already know. You too smart for that, man, and you already know. And it might not be the similarities as far as the game style, but the aggressiveness, the confidence, the swagger, you know what I mean? Everything, the excitement that he brings, you can kind of tell, that's the closest guy, you know what I mean, to me. You know what I mean? As much as I like a whole lot of other guys and very fond of different guys in that league. It just seems like, that could be, he kind of reminds me of a little brother, you know what I mean? Or something like that. You know what I mean? Just his attitude, just the attitude is there. And then his athletic ability and all the things that you would think a little guy wouldn't be able to do, and he's not that little though. He's 6'3". He just, you know what I mean? He's light, but he's 6'3". Just with the dunk yesterday, I just found it funny with him saying it wasn't a big deal because it was a guard. You know what I mean? Like that was nothing to him, and you can tell he is not arrogance. It's not cockiness. He's just confident in himself. And I just love the way his teammates rally around him and how he get them guys going. And, they'll run through a wall for him. And I think that's cool. That's just like my guys was when I played. They would run through a wall for me.
Yeah, final question for you. You one-on-one with James Harden, both of you in your primes. Who's winning that one-on-one?
Me, definitely. I would never say nobody would beat me.
Yeah.
I mean, but, with James, I think, with my size and his size, he could get his shot off anytime he want. I know he would have a hard time guarding me. He was never known as a defensive player, and I wasn't. So I'll have my problems with him too. I don't know. You know what I mean? I just think I would come out on top. But James in his prime, damn. And I don't like that answer like that anyway, because James should be in his prime right now. You know what I mean? You saying in his prime, like this is his prime. How old is James?
Well, is he 32, 33?
Yeah, man. He in his prime now.
Well, I mean, honestly, I haven't seen it in this series though.
Right, but and we're gonna need it. Look, trust me. This is what I feel, and a lot of it is my heart too. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna answer the bell. He's definitely gonna do it. You know what I mean? And I got all the. I mean, I just believe in him, man. I trust him. You know what I mean? I just think that we're gonna be all right. We just need to get out of this little dogfight that we're in right now, because we got a vicious series coming up next after this.
Oh, next series already. So you think they're dancing?
Yeah, I mean, my heart says that anyway. I'm not gonna go against them. I'm not even if I thought that in my mind, it'll just be my mind fighting my heart. You know what I mean? So I definitely think we're gonna advance.
All right. Well, I think Philly needs to see you ring that bell one more time these playoffs. So hopefully they do.
All right, my brother. Don't think so, but they got my support.
Well, Allen, great catching up with you. Nobody played the game with more passion than you. I always tell people, growing up in Philly, you're the most exciting player that I've ever seen in my hometown of Philly. So
Appreciate
always
it.
good catching up with you.
Thank you, my brother.